Good morning. It's Big Joe and Laura hanging out with you here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix, halfway through the work week, June 12th, Wednesday of 2024. Good morning, Laura.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. I don't know. I'm excited. There's so much, obviously, still ahead for the week. Of course, nice weather. You and I are going to be out tomorrow at the LPGA Meyer Classic, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, that'll be really fun.
So overall, yeah, I'm doing pretty well. What about yourself?
Not bad. I'm thinking about snacks right now, to be honest.
Ooh, okay, yeah. I haven't even had my coffee yet. I mean, you're getting crazy going straight to snacks.
No, listen, I'm going to get my coffee in a second, but I think about breakfast and then I started thinking about, like, what if there was a breakfast charcuterie board? What would be on that? And then my brain kind of turned to the newest version of charcuterie boards. Do you know what people are doing instead of charcuterie boards this summer?
No, and I'm going to try to focus, but breakfast charcuterie sounds amazing. What are people doing?
Okay, you can make a breakfast version of this, so maybe you can focus your energy that way. It's called the Snackle Box.
I think I've heard of something similar, but tell me more about your Snackle Box.
Okay, so people on TikTok have basically been building snack boxes using tackle boxes. So because tackle boxes have so many little compartments in them so you can have all your fishing lures, instead people just have a billion tiny snacks in a box and you can take it with you places, and it's a little cleaner, a little easier to deal with, because the charcuterie board, while nice, not portable at all. So if you're going to like Lake Michigan, you're going out camping, you're doing something fun, you're not going to be able to take a charcuterie board, but you can take your Snackle Box along and have a great time, and I'm obsessed with this idea. Companies are selling legit Snackle Boxes, like they're branded that way.
Okay.
You obviously do not have to spend the extra money. Just go to, I don't know, Meyer, Dick's, anywhere that sells fishing stuff, buy you a tackle box, and see how your world opens up.
Is that going to be the new flex, the thing to show off, like, ooh, did you see she's got a Snackle Box?
She's got charms on her Snackle Box. It has a whole bag. I'm in this whole lane of Facebook videos right now where people are like accessorizing their Stanley Cups, and I hate it. I hate it. I'm not doing it. So if that's what we're doing with the Snackle Boxes, I'm just going to have my accessories be the snacks, and I'm going to be perfectly happy with that.
All right, so no Stanley, more Snackle Box in your life.
Absolutely.
All right, get your Snackle on. Let's have an awesome day, all right? Let's make the best of things and have some fun along the way. We are Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
This sounds kind of interesting. St. Julian Winery and Distillery has a new wine called Boom Pop. It's a white blend made with Michigan grapes, and they say it has notes of cherry, citrus, and blue raspberry flavors. Now, it's recommended to pair it with spicy foods, maybe a grilled burger or brat and seafood. This sounds amazing. I at least have to try a few bottles to make sure I like it.
I was going to say, I think I like this, but I'm also very unsure about if I like this, and I can't even imagine the hangover it's definitely going to give me.
Sounds like something we could do for Try It Tuesday on our Big Joe and Laura TikTok.
Apple announced that iOS 18 is going to be releasing later this year, and it's got some interesting new technology, including the ability to schedule text messages, which I hope more people in my life will use, because if you text me after 9, now that this exists, I'm going to be super mad at you.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I just, not even being mad if people do text, because yeah, I get those late night texts, right? But it's so nice because I'll forget something later on.
Oh, absolutely. They also announced Apple Intelligence, which is basically AI for the iPhone. So like you can talk to your phone and say, hey, I want you to look how long it'll take to do this to this, and if there are reservations at this place, and it will do all of those things simultaneously, which is kind of cool. They say that it's going to drop later this year, but people have found a way around it and are downloading the beta version early now. So if you want to Google and figure that out, go crazy, but I'm not going to give you advice because I'm not going to tell you how to break your phone.
Nerd's gonna nerd. And for your final Need to Know news story, we're heading to Florida, where a kindergartner named Xavier missed his graduation from school, but the flight staff made sure he still got his special moment.
He is missing his kindergarten graduation today. And because he chose to fly Frontier instead, we are giving him his graduation ceremony on this flight.
No, I mean, listen, knowing Frontier, they probably canceled his flight 5 times. That's why he didn't make his graduation, but I'm happy they made it up to him nonetheless.
Could you imagine the people like, ladies and gentlemen, we have announced it. They're like, oh man, I thought we were going to
delay the flight again.
Come on. No, but congratulations, Xavier, and all the little kiddos out there graduating this year.
Absolutely.
That's Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7. It is about to get petty up in here. We are Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix.
Yeah, we're not going to judge you for it, but we want to know, what is the most petty thing you've ever done as an act of revenge on somebody? The more petty, the better the story. We would love to hear from you at 616-600-0957, or you can send us a voice memo or a DM inside the Mix 95.7 app. I'll go ahead and start us off with my petty act of revenge.
Wait, Laura, there's no way you could have ever done anything petty in your life.
I've never been a petty person. Not once, not ever. No, I try generally to be very openly blunt with people to a fault.
You're not going to hide it, yeah.
No, but when I was younger, I tried to be nice when I could be. And I had this awful roommate my freshman year at college. It was a friend from high school. We both had bum roommates, and basically we were like, oh, well, our roommates are both kind of going and doing their own thing. Why don't we live together? So she moved into my dorm room halfway through the school year. By the end of the school year, we hated each other, and we have not spoken to each other since, even though we were practically best friends in high school. So
let that be a tale as a side note.
It was so bad. But it all started, she moved in around Thanksgiving break of that year, and, things started getting sideways, and she would kind of like start rumors and just be rude and like be messy in general. And I'm kind of a messy person, so if I notice you're messy, you're really gross. And so the end of the semester rolls around, and we have to go home for Christmas break. And so one of the things in the checklist before you left for Christmas break is that you had to make sure your little fridge was unplugged and cleaned out.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it would be like a month plus before we came back. So they didn't want things spoiling and being gross. So part of your checklist is you have to do that. Well, she bailed, left everything behind as she was known to do because, again, very selfish human being. So I got mad. And I unplugged her fridge. I started doing all this stuff because I knew if I was the last person left. If I didn't get this done, I wasn't going to be allowed to leave. And so we were both going to be screwed. So I'm cleaning her fridge out. Long story short, she had bought a pint of ice cream like 3 months prior to this. And it was gross. It was kind of starting to spoil because the fridge was starting to defrost and all that. So I used one of her T-shirts to clean out her fridge. And I mean, like spoiled milk, super gross.
Oh, God.
We didn't have access to any sort of washing machine very easily. Like it was all, quarters and stuff. And I didn't have a bunch of quarters back then. We didn't have credit card machines on the washers. So I just threw her T-shirt back into her closet in her room and let it sit there for the next month because I was like, not my problem. I cleaned your fridge. I didn't have a rag. You should have been here to do it yourself. So our room smelled so bad.
I was going to say that pettiness sounds like it backfired.
It did, but I never stayed in the dorm room anyway because I had a boyfriend who lived off campus. So I stayed in that room like one night a week at best. So I was like, you know what? I'll deal with the repercussions of this. I don't care. I don't know that she ever figured out what was causing the smell. Like she did her laundry and all that, but I don't think she opened the shirt and figured it out. But for weeks, she was complaining about it. And I still to this day feel a little bit of joy knowing that I ruined that T-shirt all because she was just being an awful human. And I know I feel like an awful person for having done it, but trust me, I was driven to a point that I could not turn back.
Now I'm just scared to mess with Laura.
You should never.
Getting on the wrong side.
You should never.
Come on, we know that Laura's not the only person that's done something petty in their day. What about you?
Yeah, what is the most petty thing you've done as an act of revenge? It could win you tickets to see Maroon 5. Give us a call, 616-600-0957, or shoot us a DM inside the Mix 95.7 app. Hey, we're Big Joe and Laura here on Mix 95.7, and we're asking what the most petty thing you've done as an act of revenge. I, in college, thought my roommate was kind of a jerk. It was a friend of mine from high school. We had a big falling out by the end of all of it. But when we went for Christmas break, we were supposed to unplug our fridges and clean everything out so it'd be ready for when we got back. She didn't do that. So I took one of her T-shirts, cleaned out the fridge with it, including being covered in old, gross, nasty, melted ice cream that was definitely real dairy.
I have a strong stomach, but I am there in the moment right now smelling this about to vom.
Oh, yeah. I still smell it. It's been 15 plus years, and I can still smell that smell to this day when I think of this story. Yeah, and our room smelled like that when we got back because, of course, I just threw that T-shirt right in her closet and said, good luck, Godspeed, I'm going home for Christmas.
Have you been petty with any of your former coworkers in radio?
Yes, but that person deserved it because they gave me COVID. So,
oh, okay. I'm just a little afraid right now.
No, you have nothing to worry about. But we want to know, what's the most petty thing you've done as an act of revenge? Go ahead, give us a call, 616-600-0957. Anonymous in Grand Rapids, what did you do?
So when I was about 15, we had a dog, and my mom used to babysit these kids. And I was telling one of the kids, please don't mess with my dog. Please don't mess with my dog. Told him a few times. My dog ended up biting the kid in the face.
Oh.
The kid's mom wanted to sue my mom. I came from a real poor family.
Sure.
We didn't have any money. So I ended up finding out that they were going out of town, and I broke into their house, and I spent about 8 hours searching through their house, and I found the pictures that they took. And then as I was leaving, you know those sprinklers that go back and forth, like shh, shh, shh.
Yeah.
I decided to take the sprinkler and put it in the basement window that I went in through and turned it on and did about $9,000 worth of flood damage.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I would call that petty, but that is incredible. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
People sometimes they ask for the things that come their way, and I'm not saying I condone doing this to anybody out there in Radioland, but I get it. I fully get why you did it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it again. I still feel bad about it. It's been over 30 years.
Well, hey, at least it made for a good story. I'm glad it all ended up being okay in the long run, but man, that's crazy, Anonymous. Thank you for sharing with us this morning.
You're welcome. Have a great day, guys.
All right, Shelly in Rockford, what was your petty act of revenge?
So I had a roommate once. We did not get along at all. And whenever they would leave to go to work, I would take their fruit from the kitchen and either step on it, cut it open, bruise it somehow so that when they got home, their fruit was always old or bruised or gross.
No, what? Why? That's sociopathic behavior.
She never caught on to it.
But why were you doing that to your roommate's fruit?
What did they do to you?
She was just a terrible person. She didn't take the trash out. She didn't want to help clean up. The house was just gross. I had repeatedly asked her for help, and it just became to a point where I just got really petty and couldn't get out of the lease. So,
I mean, honestly, better you to punch their fruit than them. But I mean, that's
True.
insane.
Did you have one? I have to ask because obviously this is a deeper story than we realize. Was there a particular fruit item you took pleasure in punching or dropping the most?
Probably bananas, because you can put a fingernail print into it, and you could technically make little faces on them, or I made one look really angry one time. Could write things on it in your fingernail because it would get all gross and brown.
Did they ever say anything or acknowledge that you were doing this, or were you just doing this with no reaction?
Honestly, no reaction. I'm sure that she knew, but she was not trying to be confrontational.
All right. Well, Shelly in Rockford, just as we wrap this up, do you have a current roommate or what's your living situation?
No, I live alone now. Thank God.
Yeah, I would say thank God for anyone that wants to live with you, too. So thanks, Shelly. We appreciate you.
Yep. Have a good day.
Mix 95.7, it's Big Joe and Laura. We got one more call we want to get to for these petty things that you did. Anonymous, what did you do?
Well, I had a guy at work that got me written up over something he did, so I peed in his work boots.
That's the best kind of revenge because it's mostly victimless, other than the fact that that guy's boots probably still reek.
Right.
Wait. When did this happen? Was it at work, before work, when it was done?
Why were his boots just out?
At work, we had lockers or cubbies, I guess, for our work boots, and I knew where his cubby was, so I peed in his work boots and put him back.
Anonymous, I got to ask you a question here. Obviously, you're anonymous, so hopefully you don't get in trouble. Was this a premeditated pee?
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what? Honestly, I kind of wish I could do that sometimes to people. It's very.
Oh, no. I don't want to think about that.
Angry dog of you.
Laura getting mad at me, then I leave the studio. My Crocs look totally different when I get back.
Right.
Anonymous, thank you for the call. We appreciate it. Maybe we could change things around to be a little more positive. Coming up right around 6:50, we got Big Joe's Little Wins, and you can be a part of it at 616-600-0957 or inside the Mix 95.7 app. You can call, DM, or send that voice message. Share some positive stuff. Your little win coming up here on Mix 95.7. Big Joe's Little Wins happens weekdays around 6:50 here on Mix 95.7, and we want to highlight the good things happening in your life. Call us, DM us, send us a voice message in the Mix 95.7 app so we can share it on air with everybody in West Michigan. My little win is more of an audio. Laura, listen to this.
Did you open a bag of chips? I mean, I'm happy if you got it done in the first try because I never do.
No, it's actually healthy. That is some bell peppers and onions going into like a cast iron skillet. I made homemade fajitas last night. Even the rub I put on the chicken, I got it off like a YouTube video. It tasted good. It was healthy. And I actually made dinner so my wife could have a little break.
Oh, that was nice of you.
Yeah, see, that's my little win. It doesn't seem like much, but that's what we're talking about. Share the good stuff in your life at 616-600-0957. Rhonda and Sparta, what's your little win?
I just got my second promotion in my job. I'm now a manager.
Yeah!
Rhonda!
Yes. I'm running my first staff meeting this morning, actually.
Oh, congrats. Are you nervous at all?
A little bit, but my staff is pretty cool, so that should be fine.
Can you say what you do for a living? Like what kind of work?
I work in adult foster care.
Oh, okay.
So
That's
I
awesome.
take care of some of the best people in the world.
Absolutely. You're an absolute angel for doing that, too, because it takes a little extra love to do a job like that. And clearly you have a lot of that in your heart, Rhonda.
I sure do.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that little win. That's awesome. And have a great meeting. We'll let you go, okay?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. See, that's what we're talking about. Little wins like that. I'm so happy for her. What is your little win that you can share with everybody in West Michigan? 616-600-0957. That's 616-600-0957.
Sometimes it's unhinged, sometimes it's helpful. It all depends on which way you look at it. Hey, we're Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. And yesterday morning after our show ended, I walked out into our common area break room. Like, our break room's not really a break room. It's like a hallway. And so I was walking through there to go somewhere else, and I noticed there were like 3 or 4 coffee cups on the counter. And I was like, oh, weird. I happened to look inside of one of them, and at the time, had no idea whose coffee cup it was, but it looked like someone had bought this coffee cup in 1975 and not once wiped it out, cleaned it out, or done anything to it. I mean, rings upon brown upon, like, it was an entirely different color on the inside than it was on the outside, and it drove me insane.
I'm 99% sure I know who you're talking about. Is it a lady?
I think that's whose coffee cup it is, but I don't want to out them. They do not work on Mix 95.7. I will give them that credit. So it's no one that you hear on our airwaves, but it is another radio person in our building.
I think I know who it is, like whose mug you're talking about.
Well, I don't know how they haven't died. Like, I'm genuinely concerned for their health. It took everything in me, every invasive thought humanly possible, not to take some sort of paper towel and just wipe it out. But I've worked with enough people like this person that if you were to touch their sacred coffee cup, they would go ballistic on you because they treat it like it's a cast iron skillet. They've seasoned it. No, you have not seasoned your coffee cup.
This coffee mug is,
Oh, God. So it just, I seriously, everything in me almost cleaned this coffee mug out. Am I wrong for wanting to clean a coworker's coffee mug because clearly they're unable to do so?
Are you wrong? No. Should you? No, you should not do it. I understand what you're talking about. Do we have a photo of this? Because I feel like seeing this, you will have an opinion on it.
Yes, I put it up on our Mix 95.7 GR and Big Joe and Laura Instagram account, so you can go click on our profile there.
Yeah.
It's the first post there. I also shared it up in our stories. But yeah, no, I posted a picture because I cannot reiterate how disgusting this coffee cup is. Like, no kidding. I don't think they've ever wiped it out. I am the type of person, I clean and wipe my coffee cup out every single day. You don't even do that, Joe. Yours isn't that bad, but it definitely does sketch me out.
Well, yeah, like the coffee mug I have was just whatever was left at work. Who knows who used it before. But I wipe it down and it's got like a red lining inside.
But there's I see the brown grossness inside of it from here where it has not been wiped out well enough.
But this isn't even that bad. I wiped it last week. Usually every couple of weeks I'll do it. And it's
every couple of weeks. You should be doing it daily.
Why, Laura? It's just coffee.
Would you drink out of the same Pepsi can over and over and over and over?
If it improved the flavor.
No, it does not improve the flavor. Oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to just freak out. Please tell me, is there anyone else out there who gets really upset when they see these super dirty coffee mugs? Or am I just a broken person who just needs to not look at other people's coffee mugs? 616-600-0957 or shoot us a DM at the Mix 95.7 app. Unless you're one of those people with the coffee mugs, then just go clean your cup. Don't call us. You don't have time right now.
It's time to play Laura Can't Lose on Mix 95.7. Here's how it happens. You'll have 1 minute to answer 5 questions. You can pass if you need to, and we'll come back if time allows. A tie goes to Laura because, well, her name's on the show. Here's who's playing Laura Can't Lose today.
Let's say good morning to Megan in Kalamazoo. Hey, Megan, what's up?
Hi, ready to play, Laura?
Heck yeah. Well, you are trying to take my $100 Michigan Lottery ticket jackpot, the highest the jackpot's ever been. So good luck. And I guess, Joe, you know what this means.
Yeah, Megan, kick Laura out of the studio.
Laura, get the beep out.
Oh, I got beeped. Oh, no.
I love it. Okay, when that door closes, question 1 begins. Which movie features the line, "Show me the money"?
Oh no. Oh shoot. Tom Cruise is in this, right?
I can't help you.
I don't know.
Question 2, who created the famous cartoon character Mickey Mouse?
Disney.
Question 3, what 90s rapper made parachute pants famous?
I want to say this is MC Hammer.
Question 4, who did Forbes name as the youngest self-made billionaire ever in 2019?
Zuckerberg?
Question 5, who is the current host of the TV show Family Feud?
I don't know. Wow, I did terribly.
Okay, well, let's see how it all turns out. I'm going to bring Laura back into the room.
Laura! La 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 Laura!
Megan, while Laura's coming back in the studio, what are you up to? What do you do for a living?
So I work in higher ed program design and administration.
I don't even know what that means, but it sounds important.
Sometimes I don't know what it means either, honestly.
Cool. Then let's. I don't want to ruin it for me, but I think it might be, so let's keep it at that. Laura, Megan did okay this morning. She might have been a little bit nervous.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Oh, no.
She got 2 right. So if you get 2, you tie. Any more than that, you're the winner today, okay?
All right, let's see how it goes.
Question number 1. What movie features the line, "Show me the money"?
Jerry Maguire. I was like, I can see Tom Cruise. I cannot remember the name of the movie.
Yes, that is correct. 1-0. Question 2. Who created the famous cartoon character Mickey Mouse?
That would be Walt Disney.
Correct. It is 2-1. Going to question 3. What 90s rapper made parachute pants famous?
MC Hammer?
Oh, yes. 3-2 is the score. Going to question number 4. Who did Forbes name as the youngest self-made billionaire ever in 2019?
Kylie Jenner?
That is correct. Megan had a good guess. She said Zuckerberg, which I'm sure he's multi-billions by now.
Oh,
but
yeah. And he's way more self-made than Kylie Jenner is, but we're not going to get into that argument.
Hater alert. Okay. It is it is 4-2 going into the final question here. Laura, who is the current host of the TV show Family Feud?
Steve Harvey.
That is correct. Our boss, Eric, watches that show all the time. He is like the biggest Family Feud fan in the world.
No kidding.
He would have killed you if you missed that. All right, well, Megan, don't beat yourself up. Laura went 5 for 5 today. It's pretty hard to beat that.
I'm sorry, Megan.
Congratulations, Laura.
Thank
you cannot
you.
lose.
All right, Megan, you know what you have to say now. Go ahead and do what you got to do.
Yeah, I am Megan from Kalamazoo, and Laura cannot lose.
Oh, you did great, Megan. And if you want to be like Megan and try to take my $105 Michigan Lottery ticket jackpot, holy crap, come and get it. 616-600-0957.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
The 12-year-old boy who was left in critical condition on Sunday after a 5-foot deep hole he and his younger brother were digging collapsed at Silver Lake State Park has improved and is now in serious condition, which still isn't great, but man, it's amazing he's alive. Police say efforts by the boy's parents, there was Good Samaritans there and first responders, that's what led to his survival. He was actually unconscious and not breathing when he was pulled from the sand. I'm so afraid after seeing stories like this, Laura, because you don't think it's going to happen, but oh my gosh.
No, it is. Just assume it is. Don't dig in the sand more than 3 inches. It seems so scary and whatever. And honestly, if you want to read more about why this kind of stuff happens, we do have a story about it inside the Mix 95.7 app. Okay, so you might smell it before you see it, but the world's smelliest flower is set to bloom right here in Grand Rapids.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's called a corpse flower if you've never heard of them, and it's expected to bloom in a matter of days. They're really big. They're like 5 feet tall and really weird looking, almost like Seymour from Little Shop of Horrors. You know, the giant plant that comes and talks.
Feed me now.
Yeah, that's what a corpse flower kind of looks like, but they smell terrible. That's why they're called a corpse flower, because they kind of smell like corpses. It's going to be at the Frederick Meyer Garden, and they say it should reach peak bloom sometime between the 14th and the 16th, so this weekend, basically. And if you want to learn more about this weird flower and see some photos of it, don't worry. It's waiting for you inside our Mix 95.7 app.
Yeah, I'm going to pass. I'm not going to pay money for everybody to look at me like I farted. I'm good. And for your final need to know news story, we're heading to Florida where a woman ended up calling the police on herself. Why? Well, she was trying to steal a car from a dealership and she wanted to make sure she could do it legally.
Because I'm trying to steal a car that's not legally mine. So y'all got to come make a report. I'm reporting this.
I don't think calling the cops on yourself makes it legal.
Hey, A for effort. Have fun in jail.
I mean, at least she tried.
That's Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7. It's the Big Joe and Laura Show on Mix 95.7, and I feel like with this question, we're going to get a lot closer than we were before it was asked.
I don't know that we want to be this close to you, but go ahead, Big Joe.
My situation, Laura, we can just call it my dirty laundry decision. Do I wear a pair of dirty underwear or do I go commando? And, well, I've already made a decision, but I would like to know what you think about this. I woke up for work today and I said, oh, crap, where's my underwear? I thought I had a pair out with my clothes. I usually set it out, but apparently I didn't, and I don't have much underwear, so they're in the dirty laundry. I was like, well, do I try to pick out a pair? And every pair that were in there, I'm not going to get into detail, but I just thought they were a little funky. Thought they had a little pep in their step. I didn't want to put them back on.
They could stand up on their own, maybe?
That is a very accurate statement, unfortunately, for my laundry room. And I thought about it, and I decided commando. Got to go commando, right? Just free it up. Tom Petty.
No.
Well, okay, and this is why I was wondering. Go ahead, why?
Well, I don't know. I've been in this situation a few times. I'm a new parent, so like the laundry escapes us frequently because we're trying to keep a tiny human alive. So I've been in this scenario where I'm digging through all my clothes and I'm like, oh no, I'm out of underwear that fits me. Especially because I've gained weight, a lot of my underwear just doesn't fit anymore. So I'm in the same scenario as you. But I usually do the, for lack of better words, the smell test. I try to find the
You're
pair.
sniffing it?
Yeah, I'm finding the pair that's the least offensive because, I mean, usually there's at least one pair in all of my underwear that I only wore for like a couple hours. Maybe I went to a concert or something, took it off and moved on. And so I can't remember which pair that is because I'm trying to keep a tiny human alive. I got 3 brain cells most of the time. So I just go through, I find the least offensive pair and I just wear it again, at least to get through until I can get some laundry done, even if it's I throw the laundry in right that second. And then by the time I get home from work, I can switch out real quick.
Do you... I have so many questions, but I don't want to talk about your underwear all day. Do you Febreze it? Because I mean, like, or are you just I
have body sprayed it before, not Febreze, because Febreze has a bunch of stuff in it that's like not great for your skin necessarily. So I feel like if I were to get that on my skin, you know, where the sun doesn't shine, I don't think that's going to end well. So like, I'll take like my little body spray and like spritz and move on, or like a perfume or something. But I mean, no, usually I'm thankfully blessed in the sense that I'm not a very smelly person across the board. So most of the time, as long as it's not offensive, you're never going to know regardless. I'm barely going to be able to tell. And I just try to get laundry started immediately and in hopes that I could get that changed out as soon as possible.
Now, here's why I was surprised, because like you're like, don't go commando. No way.
No.
I figure like, ladies, you have nothing down there to support. So like, why wouldn't you want to go commando? Guys, kind of like how women have to wear a bra, guys should wear underwear to, you know, keep things in their place.
Okay, I'll tell you the reason why, because you don't have the things we have, but I don't want jeans rubbing up against any of that. That's a terrible, awful feeling.
Oh, that is true. That's true.
I mean, and then if you're wearing a skirt or something, like you're asking for problems. Like that's not going to end well for you, especially if you got to go up the stairs.
Why do you think I didn't wear my kilt today?
No, gross.
616-600-0957. What is your thought on our dirty laundry decision here? You could be part of the show at 616-600-0957. Hey, it's Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. These are tough times, people, and, you know, we're all busy. I forgot to do laundry. Normally, when it comes to underwear, that's my job in the house because I can't mess that up too bad, but I forgot.
But clearly you did.
Yeah, I know. Woke up today, and I'm like, oh, man, do I wear the dirty ones or do I go commando? Well, I'm going commando if you were wondering.
Oh God, it's so terrible, Joe. You can't go commando. You got to at least like find a pair that's not too sketchy and rewear it because you're gonna get all that funk on the inside of your jeans.
All right. Well, Jen in Otsego is on the phone. Jen, what are your thoughts? Are you going commando on this one, or are you going to put on the dirty pair?
I would say commando. I mean, that's what I would tell my kids. If they don't get their underwear in the laundry, it's going to be, then you go without. But especially when you're saying that it's a little rank, then yeah, I wouldn't wear the old pair.
Well,
No kidding.
Laura's putting the little rank in there. I'm sure it's not like fresh, bouncy style, like, ooh, but it's spent some time marinating.
Yeah, if there's a little bit of smell, I wouldn't want to be your coworker. If it's going to stand up, I don't know.
Jen in Otsego, thank you so much for calling in. I guess we're not alone on this one. 616-600-0957. Kathy in Muskegon, you wake up, you got no clean underwear. You going to put on a dirty pair, or are you going commando?
Listen, I actually have a story about this.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was on vacation with a friend and forgot to pack an extra pair of underwear.
Oh no.
How you forget to pack an extra pair of underwear, I have no idea. But she was one of those smart women that packs extra pairs of underwear. So even though I'm like a medium to a large and she's an extra large plus, I borrowed my best friend's underwear one day.
Okay, so how did that go? Did you have to like tie a little knot on the side? Like, how did you keep them on?
I mean, thankfully they're underwear, so you've got jeans above them, and it just kind of worked. But I couldn't go commando, and I couldn't put the dirty ones on. It was better to borrow.
Okay, Joe, so that means you got to borrow Lindsay's underwear the next time this happens.
I'll tell you right now, it's going to be pretty tight fitting. Now, did this last for just one day, or you're like, you know what, we'll go the whole trip this way?
This only lasted, thankfully, for one day. It was the last day of the trip. I was just short a pair.
Okay,
oh my
well,
gosh,
I'm glad it
that's
worked
incredible.
out.
Well, I know that you had a misfortune in not having underwear, but since you were brave enough to share that story, I'm going to pick you as our play-along winner today. So you're going to walk away with a pair of tickets to see Maroon 5, if that's cool.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Now, I got to ask, are you going to wear underwear to that show or no?
Absolutely.